Good morning, family. Um, Here we are on this Wednesday. We're going to continue the series today, which is the coming of a new perspective. The new perspective have been found. Um, so, um, this week we're talking about the characteristics of Christ. All right. So these are the characteristics we must have, which what the storms help produce within us in order for us to become Christ like and to fulfill our purpose. All right, so this is the third day, which is the third set of threes of his characteristics. So, forgiveness, compassion. Okay, so another one is characteristics or compassion. So, Ephesians chapter 4. Y'all see the paper clips? That's what I'm talking about. Uh, Ephesians 4. Ephesians 4:32. Get rid of all bitterness. I'm sorry. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other just as in Christ God forgave you. Compassionate. I think an easy way for us to be more compassionate when it comes down to others is to put ourselves in their shoes, right? Um, their situation. How would it how would it affect you? Excuse me. How would it affect you? And how would you feel if you was in that situation or that circumstance? And kind of like start from there. That way, when we act and with a sense of kindness and compassion, um, it's kind of like we can relate. Although maybe we have not wore their shoes or been in that particular situation, we can sympathize, not have pity, but we can sympathize with them, and that way we'll act with a sense of warmth and sincerity in our hearts. All right, endurance. Um, Hebrews 12, verse 21. It's not right. I'm sorry. Hebrews 12, verse 2 through 4. Why can't I get my places right? So no, I'm let me pull back. Okay, we're gonna cover Hebrews 12 all the way to, oh, please forgive me, all the way to 13. However, endurance, I'm going to highlight that characteristics when I get to it. All right. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Endurance, his characteristic, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Um, Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. I'm going to go on because we need to be informed of this, especially while we're going through our storms and trials. God disciplines his children. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding your blood. And have you completely forgotten this word of encouragement that addresses you as a father addresses his son? It says, "My son, do not make light of the Lord's discipline, and do not lose heart when he rebukes you, because the Lord disciplines the one he loves, and he chastens everyone he accepts as his son. Endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as his children. For what children are not disciplined by their father? If you are not disciplined and everyone undergoes discipline, then you are not legitimate, not true sons and daughters at all. Moreover, we have all had human fathers who disciplined us and respected them for it. How much more should we submit to the Father of spirits and live? They disciplined us for a little while as they thought best, but God disciplines us for our good in order that we may share in his holiness. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Therefore, strengthen your feeble arms and weak knees. Make level paths for your feet, so that the lame may not be disabled, but rather healed. I thought it was important for us to cover that part because, we must all undergo discipline. All right. And by us undergoing discipline, like I said, it produces, a harvest of righteousness or something like that, and sometimes in the storms, God is God is disciplining us for our actions, or he's preparing us for what he's trying to give us. All right, so the last one we're going to cover today is submission, and that's in First Peter chapter 2 verse 21. To this you were called, because Christ suffered for you, leaving you an example that you should follow in his steps. Submit to the will that God has called you. All right, submit to his will. All right, submission. We're going to go to Hebrews 10. We're going to go to Hebrews 10. Verse 7. Then I said, here I am. It is written about me in the scroll. I have come to do your will, my God. We too must submit to the will of God and surrender our lives to him as Christ did. You guys have a great day. Much love.